Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Gajpal A Learning. In this video we are going to study about nose, which is a part of B Pharmacy first semester, Human Anatomy and Physiology Part 1. So let's start. Content to be covered in this video are Introduction to nose, Structure of nose, Function of nose, and Disorders of nose with their treatment involved. First of all, let us know about nose. So, the nose is a vital organ of the respiratory system, responsible for the sense of smell and facilitating the process of breathing. It is located centrally on the face, protruding above the mouth, and consists of both external and internal structures. First is external structures. These involves, first, nostrils, nerves. These are the two openings at the base of the nose through which air enters. They are divided by the nasal septum, which separates the nose into left and right chambers. Second, nasal bridge. This is the bony structure that forms the upper part of the nose, connecting the forehead to the nasal bones. Third, nasal cartilage. The lower part of the nose is made up of flexible cartilage, giving it shape and support. It includes the tip of the nose, also called the apex, and the wings, ala, on the sides. Fourth, nasal vestibule. This is the front part of the nasal cavity, just inside the nostrils. It is lined with hairs called vibrissae that help filter large particles from the inhaled air. Now the second is internal structures. These involve, first, nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is a hollow space behind the nostrils that extends to the back of the throat, pharynx. It is lined with a specialized mucous membrane called the respiratory epithelium, which is rich in blood vessels and contains millions of tiny hair-like projections called cilia. Second, nasal septum. The nasal cavity is divided into two halves by a wall of bone and cartilage called the nasal septum. It provides structural support and helps to direct airflow evenly through the nose. Third, conchae, turbinates. The nasal cavity contains three pairs of bony structures called conchae or turbinates, superior, middle, and inferior. These curved shelves protrude into the nasal cavity and help increase its surface area. They also play a crucial role in humidifying, warming, and filtering the inhaled air. Fourth, olfactory epithelium. Located high up in the nasal cavity, the olfactory epithelium contains specialized cells called olfactory receptors. These receptors detect and transmit signals related to smell to the brain, allowing us to perceive various scents. Now the next is functions of nose. First, breathing. The nose acts as the primary pathway for inhalation and exhalation. When we breathe in, the nasal cavity filters out dust, pollutants, and larger particles through the hairs in the nasal vestibule and the cilia in the respiratory epithelium. The turbinates help to moisten and warm the air before it reaches the lungs. Second, sense of smell. The olfactory receptors in the nasal cavity detect airborne molecules from substances in the environment, such as food, flowers, or chemicals. These receptors send signals to the brain, enabling us to perceive and differentiate various smells. Third, resonance in speech. The shape and structure of the nasal cavity influence the resonance of sound during speech production. The air passing through the nasal cavity can modify the quality of sound, contributing to the production of nasal consonants. Fourth, humidification. The nasal cavity helps to add moisture to the inhaled air, preventing the respiratory tract from drying out. This is particularly important in dry environments. Now our last topic is disorders of the nose with their treatment involved. First, rhinitis. Rhinitis refers to the inflammation of the nasal lining, often caused by allergies, allergic rhinitis, or infections, infectious rhinitis. Symptoms: runny or stuffy nose, sneezing, itching, nasal congestion, postnasal drip. Treatment: avoiding allergens or irritants, using nasal decongestants or antihistamines, nasal irrigation with saline solutions, or prescription medications like corticosteroids or immunotherapy, allergy shots. Second is sinusitis. Sinusitis is the inflammation of the sinuses, which are air-filled cavities located around the nose and eyes. Symptoms: facial pain or pressure, nasal congestion, headache, thick nasal discharge, reduced sense of smell, cough. Treatment: Use of nasal decongestants, saline irrigation, pain relievers, antibiotics, in the case of bacterial infection, corticosteroids, and in some cases, surgery to remove obstructions or improve drainage. Third, deviated nasal septum. A deviated nasal septum occurs when the nasal septum, the wall that divides the nasal cavity, is crooked or shifted to one side. Symptoms: nasal obstruction, difficulty breathing through one or both nostrils, recurrent sinus infections, nosebleeds, facial pain. Treatment. Treatment depends on the severity of symptoms. Mild cases may not require treatment. However, if symptoms are bothersome, treatments can include nasal decongestants, nasal steroid sprays, saline nasal irrigation, or surgery, septoplasty, to straighten the septum. Fourth, nasal polyps. Nasal polyps are non-cancerous growths that develop in the lining of the nasal cavity or sinuses. Symptoms: nasal congestion, runny nose, postnasal drip, reduced sense of smell, facial pressure or pain. Treatment: use of corticosteroid nasal sprays or oral corticosteroids to reduce inflammation and shrink the polyps. In some cases, surgery may be required to remove the polyps. Fifth, epistaxis, nosebleeds. Epistaxis refers to bleeding from the nose, often caused by dry air, trauma, nasal irritation, or underlying medical conditions. Symptoms: blood coming from one or both nostrils. Treatment. Treatment typically involves pinching the nostrils together and leaning forward to help stop the bleeding. Applying ice packs, using nasal saline sprays, or using nasal cauterization may also be necessary for severe or recurrent nosebleeds. Thanks for watching this video.